Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by and checking it out. In today's afternoon amendum, we're diving into the hottest debates in the Division 2 right now. Stretch goals. Players have been grinding hard, chasing items like the Lexington, the Turmoil Kneepads, and even raid exclusive exotics. But here's the big question. Is the grind fair, or is Ubisoft pushing it too far? We're going to break down how stretch goals work this season, while the system feels unrewarding for so many players, and what could be done to fix it without removing the challenge. Because at the end of the day, the Division is a looter-shooter. Grind is part of the DNA. But grind without reward? Well, that's a different story. But before we get into it, here's a quick thank you to all my subscribers and channel members. As you all know, I appreciate every single one of you. And members, your names are now up on my thumbs up wall. And a direct thank you for directly supporting the channel. Okay, let's do it. Stretch goals were pitched as an exciting way to keep the game alive, especially at the endgame phase. But let's be blunt. Right now, that grind is brutal. Let's start with the Lexington. The Lexington, without a doubt, is one of the most talked about weapons this season. Originally meant to be a one-off veteran reward, it's now back in the pool. And sure, players wanted it. Ubisoft listened. But here's the problem. The odds of actually getting one are laughable. You're looking at around a 3% drop rate per cache. That means you can easily spend hours farming, opening cache after cache, and still walk away empty-handed. And remember, that's just the Lexington. Other items like the Turmoil Kneepads are at about a 0.5% drop rate. Raid-exclusive exotics, same story. A 0.5% chance. Which means most players won't see these items, period. The reality is simple. The grind exists, but the rewards don't always follow. And when grind feels like wasted time instead of progress, frustration sets in fast. Now, let's talk about the quote-unquote word chance. Ubisoft loves to lean on RNG to keep players grinding. The logic is simple. If the drop is rare, players will keep chasing. But here's the flaw. Chance alone doesn't equal engagement. When you spend 2 hours farming and your reward is nothing, that's not a grind. That's punishment. A good grind makes you feel like you're getting closer with each step. A bad grind makes you feel like you wasted your night. Stretch goals right now lean too heavily on chance. Sure, technically, you could get a Lexington on your first cache, but the odds are stacked against you, and most players will spend dozens of hours with nothing to show for it. And here's the kicker. When you win finally shows up, it might be the wrong item. That's not rewarding, that's demoralizing. This is where Ubisoft often misses the mark. Players aren't asking for free loot. They're asking for a meaningful progress. They're asking for a system where effort translates into reward. And right now, effort translates into frustration. Yes, I am aware we have 3 weeks, but still. A lot of you watching my channel have told me you keep casual gaming hours, 1 or 2 hours a day. Run it for 3 weeks and the chances are even slimmer that someone like me who has the ability to play the game 5 to 8 hours a day. I'm over halfway through my 5th loop at the time of this video, and I haven't had anything to drop for me yet. Another huge issue is loot bloat. Let's use the Lexington pool as an example. Even if you hit the 10% bonus chance that puts you in the right pool, you're still competing against a laundry list of other items. Turmoil Kneepads, the Slayer, the Snow Machine Kneepads, the Oak Carol, the Chill Out Mask, the Festive Delivery Backpack, the list goes on. Oh, and the Slayer, Snow Machine Kneepads, the Oak Carol, the Chill Out Mask, and the Festive Delivery, that shit should go back to the Loot Goblin. I don't know why they decided to include it in this particular loop. Those are seasonal drops, which was primarily the loot goblins' domain. That's where they should have stayed. So imagine this. You grind for hours. You beat the odds. You finally land in the right loot pool. And then you pull out the chill-out mask. That's not exciting. That's deflating. Especially if you don't even need one. Loot bloat dilutes the reward system. It creates a situation where even when you win, you often feel like you lost. And the more filler items Ubisoft adds to these pools, the worse the problem gets. At its core, reward dilution kills motivation. If the reward system makes players feel like their time doesn't matter, they'll stop grinding. And if they stop grinding, they stop logging in. And Ubisoft should know by now, player retention is the lifeblood of this game. Now, one idea that's been floating around, and I think it deserves some serious consideration, is a stretch goal vendor. Here's how it could work. Instead of pulling random items from caches, you'd pull resources instead. Those resources would then be spent at a vendor. The vendor would have tiers. Tier 1 for cosmetics and patches, Tier 2 for seasonal exotics, Tier 3 for items like the Lexington, and Tier 4 for raid exclusives. Now, the drop rates should stay the same. A Tier 3 resource might still only drop 10% of the time. A Tier 4 resource might still drop at 0.5%. But here's the key difference. When you earn that resource, you can spend it on the item you actually want. That small change flips the entire grind. Suddenly you're not gambling with your time. You're investing in it. Every cache gets you closer to the target instead of leaving you empty-handed. Would it still be a grind? Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. But would it be a grind with purpose? Sure. And that's the difference between fun and frustration. Now let's tackle the other elephant in the room. Fun. Right now, the most efficient farming method seems to be the army terminal and priority objectives. If you're solo, you're running priority objectives on repeat. If you're in a group, you're spamming army terminal in Brooklyn. And sure, these are efficient. But fun? After a while, not really. Army terminal gets old fast. Priority objectives can feel like a chore. I've done title basic 12 times since stretch goals started this past week. And worse, activities that are fun, raids, incursion, the dark zone, barely give any seasonal XP, if at all. A heroic dark zone landmark nets you just over 200 XP. That's a joke compared to the time invested. Raids? Almost nothing. So what happens? Well, players are forced into content they don't really enjoy just because it's the only efficient way to do the grind. And that kills the variety that makes the division great. The solution here isn't complicated. Reward players for the content they actually want to play. If raids give decent XP, raid players would grind there. If Dark Zone gave meaningful XP, Dark Zone fans would farm landmarks. Right now, Ubisoft's reward system actively punishes you for doing what you enjoy. That's not just bad design, that's a toxic design. Now remember, stretch goals didn't appear in a vacuum. Let's remember, last season the system was oh so broken. Bugs let players dupe caches, skip grind, and rack up rewards instantly. Some players had everything in a matter of hours. Ubisoft patched it, but here's the problem. Because the system was broken, Ubisoft never got real feedback on the balance. So this season they fixed the bugs, and what we're left is a raw grind, and now we can see just how off balance it really is. Here's Ubisoft's blind spot. They keep designing systems around theoretical engagement, not real player experience. On paper, stretch goals probably looked fine, but in practice, oh god, they're exhausting. And Ubisoft won't know this until it's too late to listen to the players after the grind is already done. Especially the casual gamers, which, from my understanding, is a vast majority of you. The truth is, Ubisoft's feedback loop is too slow. By the time they react, the season is over with and the damage is done. Players are frustrated, some quit, and trust erodes. Stretch goals could have been great, but right now, they're just another example of Ubisoft missing the mark. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. What's the real issue here? Well, it's not the grind itself. The Division has always been about grind. We've spent years farming for exotics, chasing god rolls, repeating content for that one perfect drop. The grind is what keeps us coming back. The problem isn't grind. The problem is unrewarding grind. When grind feels fun, like in the Division 1 survival, or in a well-balanced raid, players embrace it. They'll spend hours because every run feels like progress. But when grind feels like wasted time, when it's a chance stacked on chance stacked on chance, it's not engaging. It's exhausting. And that's the real debate here. Stretch goals don't need to go away. They need to evolve. They need to become fair, fun, and rewarding, not just another slot machine. Stretch goals were supposed to be a system that kept players invested, especially after they finished level 100 in the season. Instead, they've exposed the cracks in Ubisoft's design philosophy. Too much chance, too little reward, and not enough fun. Remember, the grind isn't the enemy. It's the lack of fairness and player agency that is. So what do you think? Should Ubisoft rework stretch goals into something more rewarding, especially for next season? Maybe even a vendor system? Or are you fine with the current lottery ticket approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to thank you all again for supporting the channel and for watching this video. Remember, we're on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Check out the merch store. Can't stress that enough. And you can find us on X and Discord. Until the next one, this is Hannibal, signing off.